Hello, my friends, my enemies.
Howdy.
How are y'all doing?
How
Are
are
you
we
working
doing?
hard on your comics?
You better be.
Type 1 for yes. Test type. Type.
Type.
Ursula's apparently gonna do a rant today, and I have a
Okay.
counter rant.
This
How's
is a
everyone
debate.
doing? Hello to Ridas, Rodsy, Leechbread, as always. Lovely to see you. Yoki. Hey, Matika, where you going?
Tomato.
Matika, get back here.
Boopy.
Matika!
Monica, come here.
Get back. Go on the couch.
Please. Go be a good girl.
Be good.
Hi, baby.
Don't be bad as soon as the stream
Hi.
starts.
Be good,
You
please.
monster.
How are we all doing today?
Oh, hey, it's Oberon,
Oh, Sammy.
King of the Fairies.
Is he a boy? King of the Fairies.
Resident Dilf.
Hell yeah.
Nightbot. Doing mod work, then getting into stream. This is too much McKay and Gray content.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Half your life is McKay and Gray content, it seems.
For real. You hang out with us a lot.
Yeah, you do. Us meaning me.
Yeah,
Ursula's a rare trait.
I am.
She's a work girl.
It's true.
Did you show them the skirt I made you? I made another
No.
skirt.
I'll show you.
I'm a little elf.
Delivers them in the night. I just wake up and I open the door and there's like a skirt hanging on the door handle and I'm like,
Made a new one.
look, it's so cute.
It's a pumpkin spice skirt for my punk PSLs.
It's adorable.
PSL time.
Yeah.
She did my favorite move.
Favorite dog move.
Whenever Matika jumps on the couch, she sometimes farts. She does the fart jump.
It's a little
It-
rocket.
It helps to get her up on the couch. Yeah, it's a nice skirt. I don't love the fabric. I got it from Spoonflower because I love the patterns. But it's so expensive and I have to pay duty, which is duty.
It do be.
Yeah. Oh well. It's cute.
It's very cute.
They have higher
really like
quality
it.
fabrics possibly that I could try, but they're even more expensive. I don't know. It depends. I want to make a Christmas dress.
Christmas dress. Hell yes. I love this. I like when I just get cute clothes for my boy.
She wakes up
It's a
and they're
good time.
hanging from your door hanger
Exactly.
or door. What are those called? Doorknob.
Yeah, doorknob.
I am a doorknob.
Okay.
Sleepy McKay. Oh
He's
God,
very sleepy.
I'm so tired. I woke up at 12:30. I went to bed at 3:30, which isn't bad for me. It's
Mhm.
been better than most nights, but I think there's a bit of a deficit, and also I was just like working really hard. So
Yeah. Definitely. Yeah, you just had your little brain going all night. It's dangerous. Don't think too much.
it's not even my brain going. It was like physical work. Like it's not too much brain work to make the skirt now that I know how to do it.
Oh, okay.
It's
It's just-
mostly just like physical
Oh,
work
okay.
to do it.
Fair.
Cutting out the pieces, sewing them together, ironing, all that stuff.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm trying to not play video games while I stream.
Yeah.
I'm trying to cross stitch while I stream because then I can make progress at something that is equally useless.
good for your heart.
Yeah, it's good for my heart. No, it's also just like I want it done before I die, so I need to work on it.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. I understand.
You get me, you get me.
I get you. I have so many crochet projects I want to do, but I need to like buy yarn.
Yeah.
I'm avoiding it until we pay off our
Our
ticket.
MCR debt.
our MCR debt. Exactly.
Yeah. Black Parade coming for us.
When I was a young boy.
I sold myself soul to the devil. Aw, Fate was cute.
He's very cute. He's just chilling beside me. I can't see him, but he's there. And he supports you and loves you all.
Yeah, I
Okay.
have like 1,800 stitches.
Holy heck. I saw someone had a big paragraph they wrote. Hello, I used to watch you when I was a teenager. I love your comic The Magpie and Pretty Mouse. I found your channel streaming by chance. Whoa. Missed you guys. Oh, thank you for reading and watching. That's so lovely. I'm glad you found us.
Yeah.
You found your way back.
You came back to us.
Yes. I want to learn how to make clothes someday. Oh, that's awesome.
The best time to start is now.
Right now, follow your dreams.
You're never too old. I keep having moments where I'm like, I'm 27, I can't learn a new skill. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works.
No.
Also, the idea that I don't have to be the best ever at every skill I learn is good.
That one's also very freeing. You're like, I can just do this for fun.
The fun thing about making clothes
Mhm.
is that it also teaches you to mend clothes, which is good to
That's
know.
helpful.
Being able to fix your clothes is cool.
Yeah. It's so nice because I have all these like old like pants and stuff that just have rips in them. I'm like, hey, husband, can you help me?
I started by making quilts because I was like, that's a good sewing project to start because it's like nothing but straight lines if you play your cards right. But I was like, I want something functional. So like I made a queen size quilt because that's the kind of quilt size I like. It's freaking ridiculous because I also decided to hand sew it.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to learn how to use my sewing machine, so I sewed all the patches together, but I did the actual quilting by hand, and that's where you sew all the layers together. And holy hell, my hand died, guys. But I like doing stuff by hand personally. It's relaxing. That's why I decided to do a 300,000 stitch cross stitch.
Yeah, you know.
Because I love myself.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I need to do 1,800 stitches of white right now, and we're getting there. How much have I done so far? 6, 12, okay, 12 plus 12, 24. 2,400 stitches of white so far, and 1,800 to go, so we're good. We're making it. We're making waves.
Yeah.
It's easier to do the big swaths of color when I'm on stream, because picking out the individual colors is hard. That's more brain thinking work. But there's plenty of just did you get carpal tunnel? I already have a carpal tunnel. We all do. Well, unless you don't have hands. But did I have carpal tunnel syndrome? No. The carpal tunnel is the tunnel that goes through your carpals. It's
the little tunnel in your wrist.
Yeah, well, the carpals are all your wrist bones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's a little tunnel where a nerve goes.
Mm-hmm.
The carpal nerve. And that thing gets compressed, and it hurts.
Yep.
So take care of that nerve.
Make sure to do your stretches.
No. I mean, yes. So sorry. Or have you? I'm being needlessly pedantic as always.
Mm-hmm. That's the Bones McKay way.
Obviously it's like grammatically correct to say did you get carpal tunnel because that's what everyone knows what that means.
Yeah.
That's what everyone says.
But now you know.
Did you damage your carpal nerve? No, I didn't. Because I take breaks. I take breaks, I stretch my little fingies.
I find what gives me the most like wrist pain is working like on laptops. I find like drawing, I don't really get like it doesn't irritate my carpal nerve.
Yeah.
But working with like a trackpad and using a laptop, I tend to get really sore wrists.
Yeah, the trackpad. I don't get it so bad. I sit so freaking weird. So like I don't know what I'm doing. You know what cross stitch usually gives me is shoulder pain.
Mm,
Because like when I'm not using the upright stitch holder,
mhm.
like then I have to like hold it with one hand and then go up and down with the other
Oh.
hand,
Gotcha.
as opposed to like working with two hands, which you can go for longer. But this piece is so big that it doesn't really fit nicely on my
Oh.
thingy.
Oh no.
So it's like, I'll just do it by hand for a while. I actually hooped it. I added a little hoop because I was like, ah, fuck it. Sorry, frick it.
Don't swear on my wholesome stream. Ah.
She's gonna fight us.
Well,
Anything that. Anytime you move your fingers, you're slowly destroying them. That's what I've learned.
we're all
You gotta
breaking
learn
down.
to take breaks, guys.
Oh,
You
but
gotta
that's-
take care of your wrists
Yeah, you should. I know it's
and
hard.
your shoulders, and you should have proper form. I'm saying this as someone who does none of this. Like, for however weird I sit, I don't have as many problems when I sit in my weird way as I do when I sit normally at a desk. Cause like I usually sit all curled up in a little ball on the couch, but like I balance my knees. I balance my laptop on my knees, and in a way it does make my hands straight on the keyboard. And like I can sustain a lot more writing with it. You get me?
I get you.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it, but I get you.
Yeah. And I don't cause a lot of like tailbone pain or anything.
Yeah,
We
true,
need a
'cause-
better seat because that one keeps rolling away as part of it.
You know, if you kept your feet on the ground, it wouldn't roll away.
I can't keep my feet on the ground. It's ridiculous because then I'm not tall enough to reach the keyboard.
I love you so much. My tiny elf friend.
Yeah, we just need a better desk and chair.
Honestly, we do. It'd be nice to have more desk space, because right now it's very small.
It's very small.
Because we have a giant monitor. we
And
have
one
our
of those
tower.
tuck away keyboards.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
Those are the
I
best.
want that cool keyboard though.
Which one?
The one that's split in two.
Oh, right. The
Yeah, yeah,
ergonomic one that's
the
like
ergonomic.
two little things.
Yeah.
It's like this. You put your little hands here.
And it can be like lifted and adjusted into any angle.
It's so nice.
Oh, it looks so good.
See, I just want one of those mechanical keyboards that just sounds so good. It's like tick, tick, tick.
Well, that's one too. It also does that.
Oh, does it?
Yeah, it's a mechanical keyboard because those are the best ones.
Yes.
Yeah, because the mechanical keyboards you can type faster on them because you can half press. So you tend to be like loading up your next phrase, I guess.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Do you guys have any tips for making an outline specifically for a romance novel? Sorry if this is off topic. I have a huge video on plot structure, which
Yes.
probably will help. For romance, you're typically writing a character plot, in terms of Lace quotient, which I talk about all the time. So watch all my videos and you can learn lace quotient.
On every single video.
Every
right
single
now.
video, basically, I get into that. So you're basically writing a character plot wherein the reward is a healthy relationship at the end. And usually that involves overcoming a flaw. So like you're going from like John is a stinky boy to John is not a stinky boy anymore. And in order to not be a stinky boy, he needs to realize that he is a stinky boy. And he needs to fix that. And usually he fixes that by meeting Anthony. And Anthony helps him challenge his notions.
Stinkiness. Gives
It's-
him a bath.
Yeah, it gives him a bath. He's like, oh man.
John takes a shower.
No, there's more conflict before
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
John doesn't want to recognize that he's a stinky boy until the low point where he's gonna lose Anthony.
Exactly. If he doesn't stop being stinky.
Yeah, romance is like all character plot usually.
Right.
And then you add outside influences. Romance is pretty like my best suggestion, and I'm realizing this more and more because I used to tell you guys to do this stuff, but then I stopped. Is read some romance plots, like read your favorite romance stories, and sit down and outline that story. You know, like write down the midpoint, like. Because, like, I've told you, I think I say that in my Plot 101 video, where it's like, sit down and identify each of the elements. Like, identify the introduction, identify the inciting incident, identify the midpoint, and you're gonna start, like, understanding, like, how these things are built. Because romance as a whole, like the genre is pretty formulaic.
Mm-hmm.
So you can get a lot of examples of it just by sitting down and like piecing together like what is the conflict and how do things like change. Because I remember actually doing that like a lot when I was learning to write, but I've forgotten about it since. And it's a lot of good practice. I remember, like, I sat down with music and lyrics, which was my favorite rom-com. I still, in my heart. Lovely. That one's so fun. But that one has, like, nice outside conflict, too. Because, like, there's a goal that they need to meet. Like, he's a washed-up singer. And he wants to start his career again, but in order to do that, he needs to change himself, like, as a person. Like, he needs to not sell out anymore. And everything is pressure for him to do that. And through not selling out, he is able to get the girl.
Yeah.
And she has, like, her own problems, where she's got, like, anxiety to deal with. And usually, like, in the best kind of romances, like, both characters are going through their own character plot. And in order to kind of solve their problems, it's like they learn from each other, you know? Because you're usually going to because you might have, like, a shy character with, like, a character who's boisterous. And the shy character teaches the boisterous one to, like, chill out. And the boisterous one teaches the shy one to like get out of their comfort zone. You'll always see that.
Mm-hmm.
Cause like otherwise you get into the manic pixie kind of issue where like the girl exists purely as a way to like move the guy's plot and she doesn't have her own thing going on.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a good place to start. You'll notice this if you look at a lot of romances, but they always like start with sticking two characters like in a situation together that like that they need to interact with each other to do.
Yeah.
Like sometimes it's like an opposition where it's like,
In music and lyrics, she's the lyricist.
yeah. So they have to work together on the music and the lyrics.
Yeah.
And or sometimes it'll be a competition I don't know, they're both
Enemies to lovers. Let's
yeah,
go.
they're like rivals for in like a I don't know, a singing competition or something. And so they interact a lot with each other because they're in this competition together. Or like I don't know.
She has to bake cookies at the Christmas town, and he's a Christmas prince or something. I forget. What is it?
Yeah.
She switches places with the
Yeah.
princess,
So she has to interact with
the prince.
With the prince.
and he falls in love with her.
Mm-hmm. And she has to. The princess has to hang
And
out
she has
with
to
the
make
baker
up a
boy.
Fake British accent.
I love that
And
movie.
he's like, what?
What, Pip?
What? You
What?
princess?
You know the princess.
I'm not British. I'm from Christmas land. Sorry.
Man, romance is the best. Christmas still.
Shrek? Yeah, Shrek is a good one for romance, actually. Yeah.
It is.
It's 100%. You could totally sit down and uncover the romance in Shrek.
Mm-hmm. The romance in Shrek is so lovely.
As opposed to, like, the romance in some other, like, Disney movies where it's not really a romance, but the romance is, like, a plot point.
Yeah.
Kind of like Sleeping Beauty. That's not, like, a actual romance plot.
You're scripting your Shrek video. I'm so happy. I can't wait to see it.
Somebody.
It's just it's a good movie, guys.
That's a good movie.
Okay. So, I saw another question somewhere. You guys have all the questions. My goodness.
Naked girl.
What?
You're drawing the naked girl, right?
No, these are clothed.
Wait, who are they?
Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, they're
Oh, is it Celine?
yes.
Oh, okay. I thought it was in the dungeon.
No. A similar setup. I'm making echoes, okay?
Okay.
I saw something about character design. Oh, what's the best way to give a personality with just the look of the character?
Oh, damn. She's going to show off all her character designs
Oh, I
now.
could. Oh, shoot. Yeah, so
Show
when
them
I'm...
a design and ask them the personality. That's
Okay.
proof. Be like, ooh.
What's a fun one?
Oh, shoot. Lenora. If you haven't shown off Lenora yet.
Lenora.
She's my bae, my girlfriend, my wife.
Look at this lovely lady. I'm sorry, I drew a line. I'll erase it. So...
Never draw lines. Fundamental of art.
I feel like I can't really speak about Lenora, because...
I know, but look at her.
But look at her.
She's pretty, isn't
She
she?
beauty. That feel when half of you is a skeleton.
God, I want to kiss her.
Mwah.
Half kiss her.
Half kiss-
Clack teeth together.
No. Okay.
I guess you find someone you can talk about.
If you look at this boy, what do you think his personality is?
He's a fisherman with waders on.
Fisherman is not a personality.
Something you can learn
No, it
about a
is.
character, though. It's a character trait.
The baby. Farm boy baby. Yeah, Charlie, you have inside info. He looks like a dock worker. Mr. E.
I'm just gonna ruin it by putting fish in
I
everyone's
know you ruined
Protagonist.
it. Protagonist.
Does have protagonist. He looks like an anime protagonist.
He does, honestly.
I mean, he
No,
just
he's
acts like
too-
an anime protagonist.
A little bit. He likes hugs and murder. Shy, innocent baby. He looks happy and shy.
Yeah.
Farm boy
pretty weird.
softy. Sunshine. He's an awkward farm boy. Sweetheart. He can play a mean game of checkers.
I mean, they're getting a lot.
They're getting a lot. So, he is a farm boy. So you're correct.
No
so,
fish.
No fish. Despite
Did you-
Bones'
is
red
Rennie
herring.
in the story? Is Rennie?
I could draw it.
Did you get to draw Rennie?
I
Sorry.
could draw Rennie in one of the scenes where they're at Uncle Leo's
Awkward
house.
Borzoi.
Love.
Okay, anyway, sorry.
Okay. So this guy, his name is Sindrith. So he is a farm boy. You were correct, despite Bones' red herring about the fishermen waiters. So he is a sweetie.
He is
and
awkward.
He's awkward. He's more energetic. A lot of you guys said he was shy. He's more kind of outgoing. He wants adventure, which I can see as protagonist energy.
Oh no, I can definitely see Sindrith being a protagonist in
Mhm.
another story.
Where's the Sindrith novella? Hello?
I don't know, rate it.
Oh, I'm so writing it. I'm writing you a fanfic as soon as Avo comes out.
Oh, okay.
What do you mean you haven't designed the dog? Okay. So, when I start designing, I always start with the personality. Because that's what you want to shine through your design. So I start with like, okay, Sindrith, he's energetic, he's a farm kid.
Farm kid isn't a personality.
Yes, it is.
Horse girl.
And I joking aside about like fisherman and isn't a personality. That is an important thing to know about your character, kind of like what they do, what they're interested in, like anything that is relevant to your character is important to kind of start with. I tend to write it down, so from there, in this case, I'm basing him. He's from a book that Bones has written. So I have some descriptions already that I can pull into things. So like he has red hair, he has freckles, he has pale skin, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
He also kind of glows, which is hard to
boy.
which is hard to show in this design,
Awkward
but
fellow.
he's cute. Right, so I have things that I also need to include, which creates like a little bit of a limitation. It is, you can start with either no physical idea of what they look like, or you can start with both personality and some physical details from the source material. And from there, there are certain design elements that I guess like the public already recognizes. Like there's tropes that people understand. So like certain colors can evoke certain emotions. Like orange, for example, is a very like playful, bright, sunny color.
It has emotion.
It has emotion. And certain shapes can also do that. One I always talk about is like triangles are like for villainous or clever characters. When you think of triangle, like I always think of like foxes and stuff.
Clever girl.
Circles tend to mean like kind of nurturing, soft characters.
They wound.
They wound. Squares can mean like a very sturdy character, reliable, strong. There's a whole language. You can totally look all these things up to give you a good idea of where to start. And there are certain like clothing styles that can say a lot about a character. If you have a character who wears very like frumpy, like comfortable clothes, that can say a lot about their personality. Maybe they don't like to show off, they like to just be comfortable all the time. Maybe that means they're easygoing. Maybe that means they're shy. If you have a character who's wearing like lots of patterns and really like extravagant clothing and like seems to be like super stylish, that can say a lot about their character.
Ursu,
Yes.
maybe you should do another example because it was fun and just a comparison.
Okay. Whereas if you look at, say, like, Celine here, like, if you look at her, what do you think her personality is?
Power Ranger.
I didn't color her feet.
Hey, done.
Never noticed.
No feet. No feet for Celine.
Girl boss. Powerful. Yes. But yeah, so there's lots of things that you probably already know intuitively about characters. Like if you look at, say, your favorite character designs, you can probably tell a lot about their personality just by looking at them. Mom energy? Celine hovers, yeah. Rich and kind of strict with a soft spot for one person. Oh, dang, honeysuckle. She looks serious. She could kill me, but probably wouldn't find a peasant like me worth it. She a ruler? She's someone's boss. Strict. You're all there. These are all correct. She looks a bit tense. Closed hands, intense gaze, super tight hairstyle. She needs someone to cuddle. You're all correct. So this is Celine. So she is the fiance of the king. And she is very no nonsense. She's very strict. She's very uptight, serious. She will fight you. And she does have a secret soft spot for one particular person. Okay, and her family. She likes her family and she likes the king. Don't bring your video games to the dinner table. But yeah. So there's some other things in her design that it's hard to tell exactly because I didn't color everything in. But she in particular, so I wanted her to, so if you look at her shapes, she's very triangular. I wanted her to seem very kind of like sharp and severe to give that like seriousness to her. So she has a lot of like sharp angles, but I didn't want it to go so far that she looks like evil because she's still like a nice, like a good character, a good person. So some of the shapes are more kind of rounded off. She's more kind of like a square triangle, if that makes sense, like a diamond type shape. She looks like she makes great decisions. Yeah. But another thing about her character, so you'll notice she's wearing like a lot of jewelry. It's hard to see, but she's wearing like tons of necklaces and like little jewels and stuff in her hair and like a circlet and earrings and bracelets, and she's wearing just like all these jewels and stuff. And a big part of that is because in the story there's like this whole history between like her like the town she's from and dragons, and having all the jewels is like a statement against dragons. So knowing that about her and what happens in the story, that's something I wanted to include in the character design.
Weird flex. I'm genuinely interested
What?
in what people's read on a tallow is without telling them.
Should we get the read? It's
Yeah,
not-
I just want to see what you guys think of
Okay.
this character.
I was mad at this about this
Ursula
character.
hates this character design.
See, this was my initial design, and I liked it, and then they made him this.
They, me, and Charlie.
Charlie and Oberon, you. Of course, Oberon advocated. Okay, tell me about this character's design. More. This is fun. But as you can see, there's lots of ways you can show through a character's.
Yes. Vegan vampire dad. It's Hans. Daddy. Thank you. Rude boy. Carlisle.
I
Oh my
appreciate
gosh.
that we're all going with the vampire vibes.
Rude Dilf. Oh my god. I love it. I love your opinions.
I can't tell you anything about the character.
Yeah, let's go through these characters. It's fun. We're having fun.
Okay, okay.
This is fun. This is a fun exercise.
He
He's
went from
pissed all the time.
hello ma'am, can I take your daughter out to I'm here to buy out your family-owned property. Get out, poor person.
See, Honeysuckle, that's why we wanted to change, because the first is not what we're going for.
I love the first one.
Doctor
That's for the
Strange,
high
but
school
in
age.
Adventure Zone. Avo Twilight, you please.
He looks
Super
evil.
scary unless you mention that one deep insecurity he has.
Oh my
Looks
God.
evil, but actually a cool dad. Exactly. By wife energy.
Oh my god. Thank
Oh
you
my
for
God.
this, everyone. He looks like a Squid Game VIP. Yes.
Squidward. Oh no, he's hot.
Oh, he looks like a plot twist villain. Would you be surprised if this was the villain? I feel like he walks into the room and everyone's like, "Oh no,
My husband.
my husband."
See, Ursula, he's perfect. They're getting all
Ugh.
the right vibes.
Fine, okay.
So we're correct.
Fine.
Like, everyone is literally just guessing the character perfectly.
Well, let's look at another character.
Okay.
Let's look at this fellow. What do you think what part do you think he plays in the story? Tell me about his
I
personality.
can't wait to see. He's my dad. I love
He
it.
bit someone for sure.
Dumbledore.
Big elf husband. Dumbledore. Oh no. No. You can't just say Dumbledore.
I mean, it's the right direction.
Yeah, true.
It's
he
the
does fit
character
that.
trope,
Yeah.
yeah.
Fit that character.
He's a physics teacher. He would be.
The secret villain. Santa Claus. He looks confused. He's senile.
Yes, he is Dumbledore.
Mentor
Owns
type.
a library for sure.
Yes! You understand. He looks like God. Professor regrets his unethical experiments.
Oh my god. 2 of you literally got
Oh my god.
10 out of 10.
Why has he yet made mistakes? The beard has seen more than me. Haughty Gilf principal sneaks into English class to kiss Dad Tallow, yes. Everyone thinks he's harmless when he hits you with his cane. Oh no. He looks like he walked into a room and forgot what he went in for. Is that me? Oh.
The universe is an unethical experiment.
Yes.
Hey, XC13. What else do we
Hello.
got? Do we got other characters?
Yeah, we do.
Man, we have so many characters. We haven't really done Avo videos in forever.
How about this lovely lady?
Who is she?
Who is she?
I'm waiting because, like, I don't know. Oh god, this girl. Yeah, I'm actually interested because this is, like, such a headache character for us.
He's basically some kooky cryptic mentor character. Isn't the entire villain plot of Avo the universe is an unethical experiment? Wife! Kadra owns a casino! Sassy, but also couldn't care less. Wami. You guys are killing it.
I mean, if they're guessing correct, it's because you did a good job.
Oh.
like literally.
That's true. That is what you want. That's a good way to see if your character designs are on the right track, is show them to people and be like, what does this character seem like to you? That's something a lot of people do on our critique streams. They'll ask, like, what vibes does this character give?
It's very useful.
It is. Intimidating furry. Did you say round heads make them look shy? Not necessarily round heads, but using circles in their design can make them soft. Maybe not shy, but soft.
I mean, you could compare Aaron to Singe.
True.
It's been intimidating all day, even though it's honestly exhausting.
Wrestler that's dressed nicely for once.
Why does she have wine ant energy?
She really does.
Does.
She's 40% fur and hair. She's gotta be an animal. Rich businesswoman that may or may not sell animal skins. Tough love is her mantra. Oh, thank you, Hiren. Welcome to the channel. Oh, she looks almost exactly like my 6th grade social studies teacher. Dang, your teacher was intense. Your Aunt Jackie, after she got married to a rich guy. She's got witch shoes. She hates kids on the outside, but will fight for them. She does look like she's into essential oils. Capricorn. Yes. Oh my god. Okay. Very good.
There's so many characters.
There's a lot. I don't even have all of them on here anymore. What about this guy?
Oh, he's behind, so I'm excited. Gilf.
Yeah.
Sorry to
Yeah.
spoil it.
He's older than he appears.
What? He looks Gilfy to me.
It's my husband, tired dad. Potion guy. He needs a nap. Think Gilf is here, yes. Lovecraft Draco Malfoy. I love your descriptions, guys. He's sleepy, my cottagecore husband. Yes. I also didn't color in his feet. I just don't color the feet. Oh, he loves his bed more than people. I just want him to be concerned for my safety. He is. Give him some dated looking shoes or ugly boots. Yes.
Oh, you should show them the character we're working on.
Aw.
Maybe that'll give us some help.
I'm really struggling with this kid.
He's my son.
Okay, so here's where I started with him.
Because some of you know what the character is supposed to be.
Yeah. But it's not quite right. And then I tried this. Still not right. Bones didn't like it. Now I'm on this side. Where Bones is liking the mask more, but it's difficult.
Yeah.
What vibes does he give?
Assassin.
Another
And the
husband.
husband. Yeah. They're all your husband.
You're married to a lot of people. Contract lawyer. The suit looks nice. He's a very, very important character. 1900s furry. Intimidating until he makes a bad pun. Then he's intimidating again. Every man Ursula draws is the husband. Oh, I prefer the longer hair. Bones didn't want the long hair. He wanted the short hair.
I don't even know anymore. Give him a rat tail.
Smug cryptid man. The hair is so windy.
Every man Ursula draws with Bones' supervision is a husband. Yes.
You're right. Otherwise, I feel like on my own I draw boyfriends. Bones makes them husbands.
You also draw sons, where it's just like, that's
Mm,
my son.
That's my son, yes.
Do not hurt him, he's my baby.
Mysterious sus guy, whimsical assassin. Imagine if they sent, oh god, what's his name?
Beset.
Facet. What if they sent Facet to kill you?
Step, step.
Stip, stip, stip.
We're just forever stuck on this character.
I just don't understand. Because he has an outward appearance that is very different from like how he acts.
I feel like his appearance needs to come out in like his mannerisms more than anything.
Yeah.
Like his true self. There's gonna be like hints of it. Because he can't be fully put together, but he can't be fully wild either, you know?
Mm-hmm. Because he's...
This is how you design characters.
Yes.
Struggle.
Because he's... he looks like he would play with your life for fun. Oh god. So he's... he's...
He exists.
He exists. Because he's very dreamlike
Mhm.
in appearance. He's a little surreal in appearance.
I don't think you cracked his head enough
No.
when you were trying to draw him like maskless. Like you just gave him too much Lul Scar. Like I just want him shatterplot open.
Oh, okay. So even more missing?
Yeah, even more missing. Just imagine his head is actually a pot that got dropped.
Oh. Okay.
More surrealist.
Yeah, because he's very mystical. He's also supposed to be based off a coyote. So I don't think I've hit the mark with that yet. I've made him very kind of like fox.
That looks like torn paper.
This?
Yeah. Want it to be a cracked pot. Drops Beset's head. Just like Link picked him up and smashed him.
Link, why?
Where there's like pieces that didn't fully split, so like they're, yeah. I feel like without the mask, he would basically be the Joker. I feel like without the mask, he's definitely not the Joker.
No. He's secret baby.
Secret baby. Yeah, more like that.
Okay. So
And then
more-
like butterflies and shit is coming out.
yeah.
It's a whole adventure. There's a mask under the mask. Infinite masks. Masks all the way down. Is it my face?
It's my face.
Is it my face or my personality? The mask beside him right there, that feels like if he came
This
to me,
one?
I'd be like, oh my god, not him again. Just have that guy saying, is it the mask or my persona? Is it my face? No, he doesn't care about the mask. His mask is good.
Yeah, he
It's
likes
his face. It's bad. Give him eyebrows. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here.
Hey, fair. I got nothing.
He looks like he's got eyeliner on.
I imagine him wearing eyeliner.
Why is he wearing eyeliner? He never takes his mask off.
Let him wear eyeliner. He
No!
likes it.
He does not like eyeliner. You're not putting eyeliner on him. Are you guys from Canada? Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
How could you tell?
What a Buddhist. AU Cricket from Four Leaf, in a way. Probably has a sad backstory.
He does.
He does. He was born and then no one wanted to sit with him at lunch.
No one wanted to be his friend.
Tim's cup? Oh, yeah. I forgot. That would give it away. Wait, are you drinking Tim Hortons?
Oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, that would do it.
That would give it away. We're up.
Newmarket.
Oh dang. We're also Ontarians.
Yeah, because most Canadians are.
Yeah, honestly.
It's like 50-50 chance they're either from Vancouver. Well, I guess it's a... Okay, you're most likely from Ontario, and otherwise you're from Quebec or BC. It's basically
Mm.
the three. You meet anyone else, it's probably from Alberta. But they kind of stick to their own problems. You know?
Yeah.
What if his mask... What if with his mask he's crazy, and without his mask he just wants to relax? Well, he's got a very distinct personality. It's just
hard to portray.
it's hard to portray. I think what's happening currently in your drawing, I like the cracked spots.
Mhm.
Oh, right. We told you not to do the ears.
Oh right, he's not supposed to. Oh, you ruined him.
Yeah,
You ruined my vision.
he didn't even. You weren't even upset when I did it earlier. I think he looks too sad. I think he needs more intensity, less sad, more desperate. Ready to talk to you for 5 hours about how he can change and be a better person, and that we should hang out, maybe. Lul? What are some of your Canadian influences for your work? I don't know. Canada's not very... Oh, 3 Days Grace. That's my... That's my Canadian influence.
Yeah.
Actually, I do have Canadian influences, because, like, I don't know if it's, like, art influences, but, like, Magpie is just, the north.
Yeah.
Driving through, northern Ontario.
Yes.
Magpie would exist somewhere
Canadian
around there.
winters. Yeah.
Up near Thunder Bay.
We also are
3 Days Grace is Canadian? Yeah, they're Canadian.
also our one comic 9 Point is all Canadian wildlife plus cats.
Yeah, that's true.
So that would also be it.
9 Point is literally entirely Canadian. Listen, I forgot about that. I'm influenced by Canadian animals.
Yes.
Canad. I guess, like, one thing I think about Bassett is he thinks Lul is really cool and wants to be Lul's friend.
Terrible idea.
Lul has everything he wants.
I just have this image of Bassett trying to like drink whiskey
Yeah.
and taking a swig and then dying. Like, how do you drink this?
Well, I imagine him trying not to. Just like holding it in.
They're like, "Do you like it?" And he's like, oh my god. Would he have both ears?
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's a question, isn't it?
Can be missing part of it.
Upset my son. I keep thinking he's a fox, but he's a yodi. A yote. Kingdom Hearts has some cool animal masks to check out. Kingdom Hearts. Oh my god. That's all you guys ever talk about. Not you. It's the ones I have to deal with. Basset would get a tattoo to impress you, but it's an exact copy of his tattoo you have, and it's weird. Yes. Basset's just too much.
He's a lot.
He just tries too much. Oh my god, you got them going. How dare you guys?
Stop.
When you walk away, I'm happy, okay? I don't hear you because I'm not listening. Don't get him started on animals. Listen up, bud.
I just don't know what hair to give him. Because I really like the big curls, but Bones doesn't like them.
It's too much. He looks like Fabio. He looks like a composer.
A composer.
Yeah. Like, I know it's not the same haircut that, like, everyone gets, because that doesn't work either, but I don't like the big curls. I'm sorry. I'm sorry I'm so useless. We're getting there slowly.
We are.
See, this is how character design works.
You just yell at each other. You
Yeah.
and your creative partner.
You have to find someone who yells at you and tells you you're wrong about your design sometimes.
It's really helpful to have someone who's like
Mad at you.
Adversarial sometimes, who like challenges you to do better.
Because otherwise you draw nothing but elf twinks.
Listen, it's a niche that needs more in it.
Oh yeah, there's not enough elf twinks.
Mm-mm.
There's not enough elf hunks. That's the real problem. This is the real deficit. I feel like as a kid, he'd follow all the other kids around holding a frog, trying to give it to them. Yes, that's Basset. How do you even write a good plot? Well, that there's a whole other. That's a whole can of worms there. I want more elf bears? Yeah.
Oh.
Underserved markets.
I hate this. I hate everything I'm drawing right now. I don't know. There's
Yeah.
something off, man. I don't know.
It's a can of worms Vasette tries to give you. Yes. Well, I think we made some more progress. At least.
Definitely.
I feel like each time we come back to it, we get a little further.
True. Okay. We'll take a break. Well,
We just have to wait for him to visit us in our dreams.
You're right. Oh, what do we think of this character? What's her personality?
I'm waiting to see who you chose. Yeah. Mommy.
My wife.
mama. Ooh. Sexy Spider Woman.
Flirts with everyone she likes. Sassy motherly type. 4 arms? Yeah, 4 arms.
She mama.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. My bot is reminding you that if you pay us $8, we'll be the adversarial ones.
We will. We'll challenge you. We'll
We'll
tell you you're wrong.
We'll be like, why do you draw nothing but elf twinks? And you'll be like, listen. I'll be like, bear one up.
I want everyone to submit an elf bear to our Discord.
Yeah. Did they attach to the torso?
Yeah, I had a diagram somewhere. Like, she has them kind of stacked.
Stack.
Or, I don't know.
Just cover it with hair.
Basically. Because, like, it kind of makes... It doesn't necessarily have to make sense. She's a weird character.
It's like attaching wings with their
Yeah,
arms.
she basically would have, like, really... like... I imagine she's got, like, a shoulder where she normally has one, and then one slightly lower to the back.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they're kind of, like, built into each other. I don't know. It's a fantasy world.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have to make complete anatomical sense.
The rule of cool, as it were.
Exactly. Okay. I want to do my rant.
Oh, shoot. Watch out.
Watch out.
Ursula's coming for us.
Charlie.
Bath scene.
We love the bath scene. Charlie, you're gonna turn this into a video for me.
Oh,
Please.
okay.
Okay. So, as per the title of this stream,
I have a counter rant loaded.
I think I have a counter argument.
Okay.
Okay.
Easy
So-
for you to say as an artist. Okay, sorry.
Okay. So, say you're someone who wants to make a comic, or you want to tell a story that you love, because you have OCs that you love, or a story that you can't get out of your head, and you're like, dang, I want to make a comic because I like drawing, I like writing, I'm a mad lad.
Mm-hmm.
But then you sit down to work on your comic, or you start your comic and you're like, oh my god, this takes forever to make. And you're like, I'm going to be working on this for 10 years. Because legit, that sometimes happens when you're making a comic. Where it takes a long time. Especially if you do, say, like, a webcomic where you're updating, like, maybe 1 or 2 pages a week. Like, if you're doing something that's over, like, 200 pages, like, that's going to be years and years, especially if you want to do a really long epic story. Like anything into the thousands, like of pages, you're gonna be spending like a decade or more on it, unless you're like superhuman or work with a team. I don't know. But anyways, if you're just by yourself, if you're a single creator, it can be very daunting.
Mm-hmm.
It's also really difficult to work on more than one comic at a time and get them finished. Like, you can, and honestly, that can be a good strategy for if you want to work on a comic that's really long, but you also want to branch out and work on other stories in the meantime. But the thing is, as soon as you split your attention between 2 comics, it's going to take even longer, and that sucks. And it can be really daunting sometimes. So, what I propose instead is doing a similar project to what Bones and I are currently working on. So you'll see all these characters I was showing off early in the stream, also this like illustration I'm working on here. Currently we're working on an illustrated novel. Sometimes they're called light novels. So you have...
Light novel is shorter.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's more like a novella type
Yeah,
thing?
it's more of a novella.
Well, even better, because you can write even more, because they're shorter. But I think it's a good thing to explore if you want to do something where you can use art and writing. they're faster to produce, and I know Bones has counterpoints here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have so many counterpoints to both.
But they can be faster to produce. A couple creators I know have started kind of leaning more towards this because it is faster to put out like a written book rather than like a drawn comic. So like Maya Kern is a creator who does webcomics and stuff. Who did
Is it Maya or Maya?
Oh shoot, I don't know. Anyways.
It's one of them.
So so she's put out a an illustrated novel called Fireborn? Is that it?
Oh, okay.
Shoot, anyways.
Anyways. Continue your rant.
And talked a lot about how writing it was a lot quicker than, say, working on like a webcomic, because they worked on Monster Pop for a long time. And yeah, and it's just faster to finish a novel than to finish a whole comic, and they could do illustrations along with it. They posted it on like AO3 and then also published it, I think just through like a print on demand type thing.
Can I do my counterpoints?
Hold on. Anyways, I think it's a really good alternative. Our also some of our friends have also started doing more projects like that, like Windy and Wallflower have started doing some illustrated novels. They've been doing them for a while, but yeah, Spitfire, that's it, not Fireborn. I knew it was something like that. But yeah, but there's lots of places you can post it, like AO3 or Wattpad, or you can publish to things like Amazon and Lulu Press and all that stuff. I just think it's a thing to explore.
Okay, you get me?
Okay,
I'm
what's your
freaking
counterpoint,
crazy.
Paul?
You're driving me insane at the minute.
What is it?
Okay, first and foremost, okay? All these people you're listing, they became popular for doing comics, right?
True.
Like, pitching and selling novels is really hard compared to pitching and selling comics. Like, even illustrated novels, like, a lot of people who are in your similar audience aren't gonna read an entire novel, right? So a lot of these people worked on comics first, and they're very different. And second, I think everyone is underselling how hard it is to like actually make a novel too. Like, I get that you can like put out novels like technically faster if that's something you're fast at, but a lot of you guys can't even write comics. Like, I don't mean that as a dig. I mean that like if you have trouble with like plotting and outlining a comic, a novel is going to be just as frustrating, but you're also going to be trying to figure out how to tell an entire story with writing, and it's really hard. And also, like, you're not necessarily like, I get that it's like a good idea to consider it because like drawing a comic takes forever, but drawing a comic takes like most of the time that you're spending on your comic isn't thinky work. It's a lot of what is it? It's we were talking about this earlier, but it's like how doing cross stitch is kind of like you just sit there and do it and you don't have to think as much. I think a lot of art isn't entirely like that, because I know you have to do a lot of it, but it's a lot more of that than writing a novel. Where like, I don't know, like learning to write a novel is like a whole skill set that
for sure.
that you would have to learn to do, and you might like it, because like when I think of like writing novels, it's like I didn't get one out until like Honeywalls, right? And I wrote that in 2012, and I got that out in like 2018, which is still a lot of years, and it's only an 80,000 word novel. Like, it's not a big novel, you know? Like, it took me that long. And in order to, like, get a novel that is, like, actually readable and good, like, that took me, like, tons of practice. Like, I wrote, like, 12 different drafts of various different novels and other long form stories before I was getting something like even close to like publishable. And yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a very different skill set than writing a comic. And I think there's a lot of crossover, but like I think you're just trading a lot of the work that you'd be spending drawing. I think you're just transferring it onto the writing process instead. And if you're weaker in that and not as interested in that, I don't think you're gonna get it done. I don't know if that makes sense. Also, I guess I was kind of annoyed at the point where you said that when you said the light novel thing. Like, writing a light novel is going to be just as easy as writing the same amount of story in comic form, because you're talking about writing a shorter thing, right? Like, writing a novella is going to be just as hard as writing, like, a 100-page comic, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay.
And if you have a big opus, writing Lord of the Rings is going to be just as hard, maybe less time, possibly, but, like, look at some of the epic fantasy writers who are having trouble getting their things done. But like writing an epic fantasy, like millions of words, like that's gonna run you a lot of time and a lot of practice and skill. That honestly is way easier in comic form. Like writing 9 Point is way less intimidating than writing like 4 books of Avo. Because I've been working on Avo since like I was 12. Like,
wait,
it's taken forever.
I have a question.
What?
Though. Why is writing this fantasy epic 9 Point? Why is that easier than writing a fantasy novel?
It's easier because when you're writing a novel,
mm-hmm.
you're doing everything. Like all of the painting and drawing is occurring with the words. You're just transferring the skill, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like you're putting, because you need to describe things
mm-hmm.
and you need to make that pretty and comprehensible and showing world building through that.
Mm-hmm.
And with comics, like when you're writing, all you're really worrying about is getting the plot across and non-drawable things across. Also, it's literally less words, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because, like, I think 5 volumes of 9 Point is like 20,000 words. 20,000, 30,000, which isn't even a novel length of story that you're writing.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas if I wrote 9 Point, I'd probably be into, like, the 200, 300,000 word range.
Mm-hmm.
Which is, like, really hard. To like
yeah.
edit and stuff. For me, prose is easier than writing for comics. If that's the case, okay, this is my hot take. My spicy hot take is if prose is easier than writing comics and you're an artist and you understand how to do visual storytelling, because like that's another skill. But the skills that you're struggling with in comics, you're probably struggling with them in your prose as well, but you can't see them because you're spending all of your time in the art side of writing. You know, like you're doing illustrations with your writing, but you're not telling stories.
Well,
Does that make sense?
I think so. Like you're very good with like description.
Yeah, you're making something
world
that's
building, but maybe not getting a plot and dialogue across.
Yeah, like I can read a lot of prose from people, and a lot of people can write something really pretty and kind of like describes things and looks cool, and description is fun and interesting, but it's not going anywhere. You know? Like, it's one thing to write a description of a room, and it's another thing to write a story. And describing a room is similar to drawing a room. You know?
Mm-hmm.
I can write something pretty, but dialogue is hard. Yeah, if you're struggling with dialogue, you're struggling with it in comics. Like, anything that you struggle in comics writing, you're gonna struggle in novel writing as well. I think novel writing, like, is like a good thing to practice. Like, I always say it is faster. But I mean that in, like, I think it's faster to learn writing if you're writing novels, because you're working purely with writing.
Definitely.
You know?
True. Whereas with comics, you can lean on your art quite a bit. So let me amend some things.
Okay.
So I think
amending time.
I definitely agree with you that writing. I think I pitched things a bit too wide here, where I did say, like, just write an epic. It's easy. Forehead.
Yeah.
Which it's not, and you're right. And writing does take a lot of work, and I think doing the process of, like, writing like a full novel or a novella, and novellas are shorter than novels, and there's less parts to, like, figure out, like, less characters, maybe, like, smaller stories, similar to, like, how a comic tends to have a smaller story.
Okay, wait, I have one more hot take.
Oh, sure.
I think it might take you longer to write a draw a comic, but that's mainly because there's a lot of manual labor involved, and fixing that, like, isn't gonna fix, like, the need for, like, artistry, right? The amount of artistry work is kind of gonna remain similar between the two mediums, I think, but the manual labor is definitely harder on the drawing side, which is why if you're gonna write an epic, maybe get some other artists involved and work on a team so you can work on the manual labor together.
That is true.
I think that would solve your problems a lot better than learning to... Okay, one, let go of some control in your comic and let someone else help you.
I'd agree with that. I think a lot of people
And it's a
would
lot
benefit.
easier to learn. It's a lot easier to make a friend than it would be to, like, learn an entire new medium that you're not interested in.
That's true.
Okay, sorry.
Here's the
there
thing.
you go.
I don't think you should be writing novels and novellas if you have no interest in it. Like, if you want to pursue comics, pursue comics.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to say, like, don't do that. I think it might be something you could also do in tandem, similar to, like, the creators I mentioned earlier, like, where they started with comics and then started getting into, like, novellas and novels and stuff once they had built up an audience, just because I think it is a way to get more stories out more quickly. And I think something Bones maybe you're not accounting for is doing, like, a serialized fiction as opposed to writing a full manuscript and then putting it out into the world.
Okay, my counterpoint is, where is your novels then?
Shut up. Listen, all my manual labor is going into making comics.
Oh,
okay?
yeah? I see you writing all the time. Sometimes as much as you're drawing, and I don't see a novel from you. I just, like... Dude, like, I read a lot of people's writing, and, like, I mean this in, like, the sweetest regard, but if you're starting out with writing your first novel, it's probably not that good. Like, it's very unlikely that you're gonna have something good. Like, if you want to learn writing, but if you want to learn art, like a comic, because
Whoa.
make friends. See, I knew this was gonna be a fight.
You knew it?
Because I just get tired of everyone just doing that all the time. That is such a meme in the comic world. It's like, just become a writer. It's easier for it. And then I see all you guys, and you freaking struggle with, like, stringing a plot together. because it's hard, and then you want to do even more than that, and I'm like, oh my god, kids. What if you want to persuade everything? Oh, pursue everything? Go
Oh.
ahead.
Go for it. Here's the thing. I'm just trying to branch people out. I personally want to see more cute illustrated novels and light novels.
Bones, why am I pacing always so fast? I don't know. Slow down.
I want people to experiment with.
Well, that's a different point.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry I came at this so aggressive.
I knew it because you were like, I'm gonna do a rant.
Yeah, I thought it would be fun. I appreciate the conversation we're having. I think you're bringing up good points. Bones calls us all talentless. Writers are insecure.
Because
Don't.
everyone always wants to tell them that their thing is easier.
I'm not trying to say it's easier. I just think there's so much overlap between writing comics and writing like prose. I'm just saying branch out into both.
Bones is right. Thank you.
I'm sorry. I in no way was trying to say that writing a novel is easier than making a comic. I think Bones is right. There's more manual like labor hours you have to put into a comic because creation of art.
All art is hard
Can-
and stinky.
It is. It's always all hard and stinky, but I'm just saying pursue.
Bones goes also talentless. Because you are. You're all talentless.
Oh my god.
I'm the only person with talent.
Oh no.
No, some of you are really good writers. Some of you. Others need practice. And you're only going to get better with practice. And if you want to write novels, you should do it. Like, I agree with... I'm not entirely disagreeing with Ursula
Okay.
on things. I'm just saying this is such a... It's
I
such an
think-
annoying hot take because it's a hot take that artists always have. And, like, it drives me nuts. Like, up the wall.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I made y'all hot and bothered.
It's just because I find like a lot of like people who like are either like they're good at writing and they're like, just do it. Like they don't take into consideration that a lot of people have trouble with it and that it is really hard.
Yeah.
Or I think there are some people that oversell their skills as a writer because they like I don't I actually don't know like how well certain people write because I know there's lots of people who've moved from comics to writing prose where their prose is like amazing, but there have been times where I'm just like this is nowhere as good as their comics. And I also find that if you are someone like I guess this is just a consideration to have, but if you are moving from comics to writing or prose, if you're moving from comics to prose, like I think you shouldn't do a visual novel because you're gonna just rely on your visuals so hard and really hamper yourself as a writer. Yeah. That's my hot take there.
Damn.
I get salt. The salt.
You do. I didn't think this would be this salty. I just was like, hey, here's a cool thing. Try it out.
Yeah, I know. Like, I know you're literally telling people to do more novel writing, and I'm mad at that. But I'm just like,
Why is he mad?
because
I know why you're mad. You've
because
listed
it's
it
just
out.
like, well, just write novels then. It's
You do
easier.
it, forehead.
And
my
I find
God.
it funny because, like,
Dude,
you're
don't call me
saying
out again.
this
Do
when
it.
you haven't finished a novel. Like, you also haven't finished a comic script either. Like, writing is hard for you.
I'm just saying. I do think I am curious. So I think there is something to be said about like serialized fiction. It's something I'm staring at. Because Bones is right. I do like writing, and I do write my secret little novels that I never show anyone. But
Here's
I
my
feel
hot
like,
take on serialized fiction. Do you
could
want
I
it?
finish my point first?
Fine.
Thank you. So I think serialized fiction is something that, like, it exists online. Like, if you look at fan fiction is like a big one where people are writing. I mean, I'm sure there's people who will write a whole fan fiction and then slowly publish it. But a lot of people work on it in like a serialized fashion where they put out like a couple chapters and then they start just writing it as they go. And maybe similar to how a webcomic works, which is also like can be serialized fiction, where you're putting out like updates, you're writing it as you go. Maybe you have a detailed outline, but you keep going. And I think that's just like, it's a really, you get some really interesting results from writing something and like completing, say, like a chapter or an episode, and then having to like build off it as it's being put out and you have eyes on it and you can get feedback right away. And I think that's really cool and interesting, and I think you get some interesting story results from it. And there's also like, okay, a big reason I was looking at this because I was looking at Wattpad, which has a lot of original fiction on it that is serialized. And it's just, I feel like it's something to explore, especially in like a multimedia
But this is like
sense.
literally the opposite of your comic advice for people. Because we're always telling people to finish their stories before you put it out. Because otherwise you have to like make the parachute as you fall. And like, I think it's cool to like, because it's literally what I do, right? Like, I write a story and have you read along, and then it
Right.
helps me change and edit things. But like, if I was putting out that to public, like, I get like serial fiction, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
and it's fun and stuff. But oh
Yeah.
god, do something
I do
small,
get
little
you.
baby man.
I do get you. It is
Yeah.
the opposite of what I usually tell people.
I know, and you're
I also say
Miss Artists always, you're just telling all the writing facts. You're like, shush, Bones, let me talk about writing.
Shush.
I mean, I guess I'll talk about art. It's stinky.
It's stinky and easy to do.
It's easy to
Just
do.
don't write. Become an artist.
As an artist, you don't have to do much to impress people.
I agree.
Just put some shiny colors on the page and people will be happy about it. Learn how to draw something that looks vaguely more hand shaped than other people can draw, and you're good.
I literally
Your
agree
harshest
with that.
critics
Why
are
you
going to be
being
other
mean?
artists. Because I'm hurt.
Why are you hurt?
Because I tried to talk and you told me to shut up.
I did not.
You said, shush, let me talk.
Because I kept saying things and then you'd interrupt me. Sorry, I
Yeah.
didn't mean this to be a fight.
Yeah, well, you're starting a fight because you called me stinky and bad.
Well, I guess we're not turning this into a segment because it just hurts feelings.
Yeah, hurt feelings from. I've told you this a million times, but
My goodness.
writers are sensitive, okay? Like, writers are always told that their work is super easy, but. Ow.
It's not
Right, I
saying
stabbed
it's
myself.
easy.
But you aren't saying it, but it's heavily implied at the beginning of this thing. Like you've changed your mind on it. You stepped back, but the beginning, the opening of just like I get what you're saying, but like, do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mom and Dad are fighting, but like. Bones is salty. I
Ew.
am salty. I just I don't know what it is specifically that's got me so salty about this. But it's like I don't know. I don't know. Writers are more sensitive than their most sensitive character. We are, because it's just. I think it's just maybe it's just like. Because I was literally talking about this, and I'm exhibiting it right now. But like, there's just like some frustration
Mhm.
to. Sorry, I'm just doing thread things that are also annoying
Oh,
at this minute, and I stabbed myself.
Oh, no.
There's just something to like, because I feel like most of you have like tried writing at this point and recognized that it's hard,
Yeah.
but like, I don't feel like most people like have, and like, I don't know. I feel like sometimes people are a lot more confident in their writing skills that they haven't even really gotten critiqued. Oh my god. I can't figure out thread and talk at the same time. I'm trying to make my starting knot. What is going on? Ursula's a powerful lazy.
I'm a powerful lazy.
Ursula apologizing for getting interrupted. Girl bosses, stop apologizing.
Exactly.
I don't know. I think I just wanted to say my bit before you trashed me again.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to trash you. I'm genuinely sorry if what I said hurt your feelings.
I just wanted to say before you went on about serialized fiction. I just wanted to say stuff.
Okay.
And you said no, and I was sad.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to.
So I knew what you were gonna say, and you were gonna be like, say it. Because, like, I feel like you have cool points to say, but I feel like it needs to be said first that you should, like, do your writing and, like, get things done. And I feel like it's counter to, like, a lot of things we say. Writing comes naturally. Am I broken? I don't know. I wish they taught us outlines and characters and plot and fiction in schools instead of argumentative, informative essays. I mean, once you understand, like, plot and characters, like, it's pretty simple, and a lot of what you learn from essay writing is pretty applicable to writing if you stretch your brains in the right way. But maybe that's just me being, like, neurodiverse. But, like, I found after becoming really good at novel writing, like, I went back to English class and I could really easily do essays. But that also might be because I'm older. Saying writing is easier is insulting. PS drawing is just autopilot. No, I don't mean that. Like, okay, now I need to defend, like, artists. Like, I think it's just, like, specifically that there's, like, I just see this take all the time, and there's, like, varying, like, amounts to it. But, like, what is it? I think a lot of the time, like, based on my experience of, like, watching Ursula draw, is, like, there's a lot of parts to art that are just autopilot stuff, like, once you reach, like, a certain level.
I think there are certain things that are autopilot. So an example, Bones and I were talking before the stream, an example I use is, like, drawing panel outlines, because once I've thumbnailed, which is kind of meaty work where there's a lot of thinking involved, but once you know kind of what you want, it's easy to go through and just kind of, like, line things. Same with, like, flat coloring, like putting down flat colors before you're picking your colors is also kind of autopilot work. It's very time consuming, maybe not panel outlines, but flat coloring can be really time consuming and can be very kind of, like, autopilot. Don't have to think while you're doing it, you're just filling in lines. But I think the meat of doing art isn't autopilot work.
Well, I think it's the exact same work as working on prose for the most part, but there's also a lot of stuff that is just manual labor.
For art?
For art.
Okay.
Because I find, like, with art, a lot of the time, a lot of the arting time. Okay, how do I explain that? How do I do this?
How do you walk this back?
Okay, when I'm writing a page and I'm trying to make it as pretty as the page you're drawing now, you spend a lot of time sitting there and drawing the same line over and over. I sit there thinking about the same line over and over.
Right.
You know, it's like the same thing. Does that make sense?
Do you mean as I build up layers? Well, I'm say drawing these characters, like, I start with my like foundation under drawing, and then I build up to a character, and then, like,
I think that's
features
like
and stuff?
first draft. Like when you first draft, you go blah 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 blah, so you get the general idea,
Mhm.
and then you build on layers. You like expand in that, and I think by the time you get to inking, you sit there doing the same line over and over,
Mhm.
like trying to get the perfect line,
Yeah.
or you slow down and get the perfect line.
Mhm.
Whereas like with writing, it's a lot of like similar to that, but you're just sitting there thinking of like how to put it all together. I think a lot of like what you do in thumbnail stage
Mhm.
is what you do the whole time when you're writing a piece.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
thumbnailing like just doesn't look hard, but it is really hard.
It is. Totally. And I
Flat
agree.
colors are autopilot? Yes, that's specifically what I'm talking about. I'm talking about flat colors. I'm talking about laying down perspective grids. Like, I'm talking about like all these like really nitty gritty things that, like, I guess with perspective you have to think more. But like, it's still a lot of like autopilot sitting there work. Like I find like even doing your first gestures in where you know where they're gonna go, like there's not a lot of thinking to that.
Mhm.
It's like an intuitive thing, and you want it to be intuitive. I think if you're a good artist, like these things should be intuitive by the time you're doing thousands of pages. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like once you're doing thousands of pages, I think a lot of your work should be on autopilot
A lot of
after
it.
after you get the thumbnail down. You shouldn't be doing tons of thinking. Aside from like obviously like the details and the
Yeah.
expressions.
I get what you mean. There are definitely, especially with making comics, there's a lot of repeat, like drawing. Listen, you'll do a lot of close-ups of characters doing the exact same expressions a lot.
Yeah.
And there's definitely places where you can like kind of copy paste things, and I know what you mean. I think they're both difficult. I also think it's hard because I don't want to undermine how long.
Yeah,
You're
you should
right.
thumbnail your flat colors. Like not your flat colors, your colors. You should know your
Yeah.
colors before your flat coloring.
You should. But the thing is, like, I can, for putting, like, I'm not talking about picking colors here. I'm talking about laying down my flat colors.
Yeah.
I could hand that off to Bones.
I could do it, yeah.
I mean, you know more about color than I think maybe like the
Well,
average
you don't even have to
person, but
know color. Like if I have the color key, like it's simple.
I could just hand it to you. You could fill it at all, and then I could go in and finesse things. Like,
Yeah, or I just put them all on the same layer, and then you can like set the flat color to whatever it is.
is there an equivalent to that in writing? Like, is there kind of autopilot work people can do?
No, that's my point.
That's your point.
That's literally my point. Is there's like maybe spelling and grammar, but
Even then, there's
but
artistry to it.
but even then, yeah, you gotta sit and think a lot more. Like there's, I feel like okay, here's kind of like where I'm trying to explain this. There's no part in writing where I can sit and put a YouTube video on and write at the same time. But when you're an artist, you get to sit there and you can work and you can get a lot done. And yes, there's thinking to it, but you can watch something in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Am I explaining it well? Like, it's not that it's not skilled work. I think the more skilled you get, the easier it is to do. And, like, I can put music on the background, but I can't listen to an audiobook and write a novel at the same time. Like, I have to choose one or the other.
Right.
Like, I think I'm talking about any time specifically in your drawing process where you can not put 100% thought into it. Because, like, okay, perfect example. You're doing a live stream right now and talking and getting work done. I can't do that with writing.
True.
There's, like, so much, like, more focus all the time that's expected when you're writing a story.
Right.
Yeah, like, I can draw with music, but not write with music. Well, I can write with music in the background, but like I'm not really listening to the music.
Yeah.
It more gives me like a beat to write to.
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that part of writing sucks. Yeah, like it's just it's just more constant, intensive work for a shorter amount of time.
Yeah.
Whereas drawing is a lot of manual labor. It takes a long time, but you don't need 100% of your focus to do it.
Mhm.
Like, you get to be social and draw. Like, you can have a gang and you can laugh and get a lot of work done.
Mhm.
Writing takes more mental energy, but art takes more physical energy. That's literally what I'm trying to explain. Like,
Oh, okay.
like through all my points, it's like I think I'm using the wrong words. I don't necessarily mean autopilot. I just mean there's some parts of writing that are autopilot, where like
You mean art?
art that is autopilot, but I don't think there is an equivalent for writing.
Mhm.
Like, writing is just a lot of thinking. And a lot of time you'll be writing and you're not doing anything.
Mhm.
But you are thinking really hard and
Well, yeah, you're still
burning holes in your brain.
but I still stand by that. I think in the time that I work on one, like, okay, it's difficult because I also work with a partner who does all the writing half of the art. So, like, there's definitely parts I can't really speak to. But I think in the time it takes, like, me to draw, like, one of our comics, you can write, like, 2 novels.
Yeah, but
I'll
they're not
stand by that.
finished. I can write 2 drafts. Like, I'm a slow writer, but like not completely finished. In the time it's taken us to finish Pretty Mouth and Sovereign
Ooh.
and almost all of Magpie, I've finished 2 novels. You know?
Yeah.
Like, I know I work very sporadically, but like I've done the same amount of write novels as you have comics.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I've only published. I know. I finished Avo and I've finished Honeywells. I've only done 2 novels in my life that are good enough to publish.
Oh, okay.
Because like you're comparing unfinished work to finished work, which I think is unfair.
Oh, okay. I gotcha.
Yeah, because like when you finish drawing a comic, it's done. But like writing, it's like you gotta count all the other drafts because that's part of it. That's like saying that, well, you've penciled it, it's all done. Like, no, it's not. There's more to it.
Oh, okay. Fair.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I see.
How many comic drafts do you do? I do like 2.
That's
No,
what I don't get
that's because I edit along the way. Because I go, it takes so long for the drawing process. But okay, that's another point.
though. Wait. Tell me. It's
Okay,
spicy.
getting
I'm sorry, I started.
Okay, well, back on the physical labor versus mental labor. Having a partner write a novel with you is completely different to having an assistant with
What
your
do you-
art.
Oh, okay.
If you added someone to assist you in your art, it wouldn't change the creative vision, right?
Right.
It's easier to hire people to help you draw a comic
Yeah.
than it would be to hire someone to come onto the writing of a novel,
Right.
which is more to like it's physical labor.
I mean,
Like, I know it would change it like slightly, but it wouldn't be as drastic of a change.
yeah.
It's like if someone else thumbnailed your story, it'd be completely different.
True.
It'd be a lot of nuanced differences, but like as the main artist, like you can direct people to draw like you.
Right. You could.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It's hard. Yeah, there's not many comparisons to that with novel writing, but I know like writing scripts for like movies, they'll have like several people come in and work on something, or like writing, like, this is very different, but writing like because you can write. Well, I'm thinking of like kind of novel collectives who work like under one pen name, where they'll have like
Yeah, well, that's different because it's a
Yeah.
collective vision.
true.
It changes it. Whereas I don't think when you add other artists on, it becomes part of the vision.
True.
Like, there are writing assistants, but usually they're for catching like plot holes and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
And there's usually like a showrunner stuff. Like, I think that's
Yeah.
different. Like, it's a different medium too, because like we're
Yeah.
talking about prose, right?
Mm-hmm. You're right, because yeah, there's not. You're correct. There isn't like a similar comparison when writing novels, because they're very like one person's vision and labor.
Yeah.
I mean, there's.
I think it's a
editors as
lot
well.
easier to hire on someone you don't really know to do art for you than someone to do writing.
Mhm.
I feel like it's just easy. Like, I feel like it comes down to like letting go of control.
Yeah, there's that. And I think people should do that in comics as well. Because I think, I mean, like you were saying, like sometimes when you want to make a long comic, like give up some of your control over things and like get friends to help with different pieces, whether that's writing. Because I think it is a good idea as well for like people to who want to make a comic, who have ideas where you don't like the writing process, but you like the art process, like working with a writer friend. Anyways, that's a whole other topic, though.
But yeah, like I totally consider hiring someone to help you draw, but I wouldn't consider having someone help me write.
Right.
I mean, I guess there is some collaboration through like editing,
Yeah, editing and getting feedback and stuff.
but that still
Involved.
comes down to you as the writer taking advice. It's just
Yeah.
it's like having eyes on it,
Mhm.
like with the art.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Damn, I didn't think this would be so spicy.
I knew it was gonna be spicy.
Oh, he never tells me these
I
things. He's
knew.
just like, okay, you go, and then he fights.
And then you back down off your point, even though I think you have like some good points.
Okay, tell me why it's
Like,
good. help me out.
like it will save probably years of like manual work. Like I'd agree. Like if you're just as interested in writing novels, like I'd agree, write novels because you will probably get more out than you will
Mhm.
comics just because of like the amount of work hours put in.
Yeah.
But I think that just comes after a lot of work.
Yeah, true. I would also agree. It's like, I don't know, none of it's easy. Like, none of it's like, here's how to get rich quick, make it your
Oh,
stories, because
yeah.
I don't think there's a way to do that.
Also, I do think it's important to realize that like pitching novels is so much.
I agree.
Not
I
even
didn't
novels.
think of that, but
Yeah.
that is true. It is, because when I'm thinking of like the fan fiction example, you already have buy-in when you're giving someone a
Yeah.
fan fiction, because if they're looking for it, they're like, I'm invested in these characters and this fandom, like I want to read this thing. Whereas your original work, yeah, there's a lot more pitching you have to do, and people are a lot more likely to pick up a comic than get invested in a novel, because it takes more.
I'm gonna say another.
Time.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt that time.
What you got to
I-
say?
Because even if you're going on an existing audience based on like the fact that like, oh, I have an audience and I wrote a novel and it's illustrated, guys, like having been someone who's had to sell that versus our comics, it's so much easier to sell the comics.
Mm,
Because part of it is trust too. Like I agree, because like just because I like reading someone's comics, I'm always really sus on people's novels on whether or not I'll enjoy them. I'm super picky, like to be fair. How are comics versus novels for pitching? Well, comics are easy. You hand someone a book, they flip through it, and they're like, God, this art is pretty, and they buy it. You hand them a novel, like, you have to sell hard. You have to sell your story. You have to, like, oh, God, you have to do so much more pitching because, like, they don't trust that it's good because you can't just look at prose and be like, wow, this is really clear and easy to read and engaging. Like, you have to actually read it.
mhm.
You know, like you can't just look at these pages and be like, oh, wow, I'm seeing the story, because you can very quickly read a comic, which is in your favor.
True.
Because even when you're reading like a novel with visuals, you're like, wow, these are pretty visuals, but how do I know if the writing's any good? Like, do I want to drop all this money down on like a handful of pretty pictures? And it's a lot easier to sell comics online versus novels too, I find, because people will see a page of comics go up because like webcomics is like such a great way to do it, the serialized nature of it. Like you hook people with one picture and then they're like, well, I need to read all of it. Like, that's so pretty.
True.
I may be wrong, but it seems like there are also less people publishing comics than graphic novels, less competition. Do you mean like...
Oh, versus light novels? Sorry, could you rephrase that, AZ?
Thanks for your time, guys. Gotta go do boring work stuff. Well, have fun with your boring work stuff.
Yeah. Novel, not graphic novel.
Okay, yeah. I kind of figured. Less competition? Yes. Also, again, easy to weed out comics that aren't worth your time. Like,
I guess that's true, yeah. Because even if, like, you discover you don't like the writing of a comic, maybe you find something that's gorgeous, but, like, you don't like the writing, it is quicker to read through a few pages and go, oh, I don't like this.
I more mean, like, most people judge books by the cover, right?
Yeah.
Like, so, and covers have gone really good with, I agree with, like, because there's thousands of comics out there, but there's only a handful that rise up because it's very easy to quickly look at comics and be like, this person isn't great, they need to work on it, right? Like, they're, like, really beginner. Or they're... or, like, they're a 12-year-old and they're publishing their comic on Webtoons.
Yeah.
It's really easy to be like, okay, this is something that needs to mature into something better. Whereas writing, again, you can't just easily look at it.
Fair.
Because there's a lot of people who don't know what they're doing, which is fine. And I'm glad, like, I'm not mad at these people who are, like, writing things that aren't amazing. Like, it does make it a lot easier with comics because it's very easy to prove that you're competent.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh no, did we fight so hard we gave you a headache?
Yes, good. At least something good came of it.
So mean. I mean, this was an interesting discussion.
I guess so.
I feel like I've changed my mind about the noveling thing. I'm like,
oh, did I fight you hard enough and cry enough?
Yeah, you cried enough. I think there's still merit.
I'm sorry to be mean to you about your amount of comic or novels written.
Thank you. It's okay. You're correct. I haven't finished a lot of them. I've written a couple first drafts.
It's hard.
It is hard. I agree. Every time I sit down to write, I'm like, oh my god, this is hard. I'm going back to art.
It's me anytime I draw, though.
Yeah.
Except I don't go back to writing. I go cross stitch.
Go to cross stitch instead. Play more Stardew.
Yeah.
Fair. What was I saying? I don't remember. Oh, I guess my opinion has changed. Where you've given me some things to think about, but I think because personally, I am still interested in writing prose. I'm like, I think this is something I'd want to pursue. But
yeah.
Anyways, food for thought for everybody. I hope this was interesting. You're not like, oh my god, stop talking.
No, go for it, Ursula. Write that prose.
I'm doing it. Oh god, I don't wanna. I'm scared.
I also honestly changed my mind a lot of it too, because like before I used to always tell people sorry, my voice is dying.
Oh no. Do you need I have a water bottle if you want some.
I drank like a whole water bottle.
Oh, okay.
Just now too.
Oh,
My voice is still dying.
Oh no.
No, like, I'll talk softly. What was I talking about?
You've come around on
Oh,
something?
right, because I used to always tell you guys to write novels. But, man, writing is a lot harder than I thought it was.
I think also, like, and admittedly everyone's journey it's different, but I feel like you became better at writing comics by also writing prose. And
Yeah.
vice versa.
Yeah, well, that's just because I like writing.
That's true.
In theory, I guess. Like, I wouldn't do it as much if I didn't like it.
True.
Here's how you make money while learning to write and still having an audience. Write smut.
There you go.
Or romance. Write serialized romance. It doesn't have to be great. All you need to do is have a very simple romance structure like we've talked about before and be able to portray it with words.
Yes.
Maybe people would be better at writing novels if they started smaller too.
That is true.
And
Start...
not smaller in word count. I mean, yeah, sometimes that, but like smaller in scope.
Yeah.
And simpler. Tried and true. You know?
Yes.
Write something boring but make it fun, you know?
I think a good
Paint
place...
by numbers a bit.
A good place to start, especially if you're looking at romance, is like look at like Harlequin books,
Yep.
which may be boring, especially if you're looking for gay romance, because it's mostly straight stuff.
Well, just look at the Harlequin formula and write it, but
Exactly.
with gay people.
Where it's
And then you will write something very simple because you won't have to worry too much about plot and you can focus on portraying things with words.
Me and Arrow Ace, no.
Because that stuff becomes difficult.
Bones is in the same room. He is. He's over there, off camera.
Yeah, we really should buy another camera.
We should. There's many things we need to buy.
The cats are wrestling and Matica's growling at them.
Guys, they are. You can just kind of see them in the corner here. I'll show you. There they are.
Matica, quiet.
Guys, stop wrestling. You're on camera. Behave.
Kill them then. If you're so upset, Matica, beat them up.
Get him.
Go. Yes. You can do it. She's like not sure.
Oh, you can't really see her. Oh, there goes Miku.
Miku's so round.
Yeah, she's a round girl.
Oh, my thing hasn't been plugged in this whole time.
You mean smaller as in... you mean smaller as in don't have 14 characters that are all really important?
Yes.
Yes.
I mean, write a
Have
simple
1 to 2
romance.
characters. I mean, if it's a romance, there's probably 2.
And don't write novellas. Novellas are hard.
They're...
Novellas
It's-
are harder than novels.
Because...
They are. They you have less space, so it makes it harder because you have less room to mess up.
Same with short fiction. It's very tight, right?
Short fiction is completely different.
Oh,
Short fiction is its own beast.
my goodness.
It takes a lot less time to write because it is less words.
Yeah.
And it is very tight, but it's different.
Mm-hmm.
Novellas are freaking hard.
Mm-hmm. Well, dang. I think you should write and draw at the same time, starting out.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go
Do
for it.
whatever makes you happy. That's the real answer.
That's true. There's no right way to do things. I think.
If you're interested in writing novels, do it. If you're not, don't. If you're 27, you can start learning whatever skill you want to be learning.
Yeah.
That's the answer to all of it.
There we go.
Learn to cross stitch, make that quilt,
Yes.
make your clothes, learn to write. I'm trying to write my first comic and have never written anything, living in fear right now.
No, you can do it. You just gotta.
Oh my god. Sorry, that just reminds me, like,
What?
because that's always my advice whenever you guys are like working on comics and you're like, oh, I'm scared of writing. I'm like, just draw really pretty, and it's okay to be bad at writing. But if you're writing novels, you can't do that.
That is true. There's definitely, you have to be good at writing to write novels.
Yeah, I guess that might be maybe that's like the best answer here. Is if you want to like eventually slow down and write really big things. Oh, there's the perfect answer.
What is that?
Okay.
Tell me.
Work on short comics, like 200-page comics for a while. Become like, and in the background, start working on really long stories in novel form.
Oh, there you go.
And then, like, you'll build an audience that can tolerate your subpar writing because you draw so pretty. And then, eventually, you can release a novel once you're, like, actually good at writing. I just described our own journey.
Literally. It feels so cynical. How did Homestuck even take off then? Homestuck is a lot of writing.
Homestuck is different. a
It's
whole
different.
thing.
It's a very unique beast.
Yeah, well, it didn't even really take off until the animation bits
Yeah.
and the music.
Mm-hmm.
It's a bop. Descend. Whew.
Hmm.
That
Yeah.
foot, though.
Because Homestuck...
I don't want to talk about Homestuck.
Okay, we won't talk about Homestuck. It's a whole different beast. I always have lots of stories in my head since I was a kid. I just started to learn how to draw them now that I'm 16. Heck yeah. It's a great time to start to learn.
What is that saying? When's the best time to plant a tree?
When?
20 years ago?
So to start now.
Yeah, well then the thing is, when's the second best time?
Uh-huh.
Now.
Ah,
Yeah.
I agree. Start now. Follow your dreams. Write those novels. Write those comics. Draw those comics. Draw those illustrations. Just start working on it now.
Mm-hmm.
Don't wait. You'll regret it if you wait.
Exactly. That's most of it. If you have perseverance, you're gonna get far.
That too.
As long as you take time every week to engage with your hobby, the better you'll get.
Exactly.
And a lot of times writing practice might not necessarily be sitting and writing.
Yeah.
It may be sitting and studying,
True.
which I think I need to emphasize a bit more.
Mm.
Because, like, getting technically proficient, like, will require you to sit down and write all the time. And in order to get things done, you have to do that. But you should take time to learn and study,
Definitely.
like you do with art.
Yes.
I'd imagine it's a similar thing.
Exactly.
Like sitting down and looking at art and why it's good.
Yeah.
It feels like it's an important part of like all skills, and I always forget that. It's like important to look at like good versions and understand why they're good.
Totally.
And then you try and emulate that.
Yes.
And you
And
do a
some-
terrible job because it takes a lot of technical proficiency.
Yes.
But you understand it, and then you just keep trying until your technical proficiency is there.
Yeah. Yes. 100%.
Yeah. And eventually the cross stitch comes faster. Well, we did it
We did it. We battled our way.
to the end of this stream.
Yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I tried something there.
And if you're a writer or an artist, you gotta give each other a hug. And if you're both, hug yourself
Exactly.
and tell both halves of you
Or
that you're okay. It's
You're
okay.
okay. You're valid.
Hmm.
You're doing good work.
And
Art.
try not to be upset whenever artists are like, writers don't have to work as much.
Yes.
Uh,
Because
Because that's just a Twitter hot take, and they still love you.
exactly.
Okay, Bones? It's okay.
It's okay. Writing is very important. Art is very important. We're not
You're
each other's
very
enemies.
important.
You are very important. You, as a person on this earth, are important. Your stories are important. And
The set is important.
yes, protect him. Alrighty. Well, thank you everyone for joining us. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new here and you had fun today. And make sure to ring that dang bell so you know when the next stream happens. And yeah, take care of yourselves. Be good to each other. And we'll see you next time. Goodbye.